Hello everyone, Lee TCG here. Today I'm going to review the decks from YCS Raleigh and in a Kashtira's Viewpoint. So there are like 10 different decks, but I'm just trying to go over real quick. And then finally I'm going to modify my Kashtira deck list depending on what people are, what like non-engine people are playing on, or like what decks are relevant right now. So first deck list is a branded Despia. This is the only branded top that is known, I believe. But one interesting thing is people used to play like 50 up to like 60 card branded deck, but this player is playing 40, close to 40. But the still same thing remains, though he's playing like a thrust package and then the board breaker approach, zero hand trap. So I did mention in my the Kashira tutorial series, whoever purchased that, um, similar thing basically, that if you play against branded, you because everyone's like most people are playing these, you can just overextend if you need to, and then be careful of the thrust. If you end up Baguska, that's optimal because you don't have to react first. So like if you end on Shang against branded, it will just turn on the thrust, so you can avoid that. So for the side deck, just having not sure what exactly this is for. Could be I don't honestly know. Could be like Purrely, and this is for like Vanadium Rogues, stuff like that. So, but mostly like against Kashira, they will side in these cards. So be aware again that evenly matched is a thing. Obviously, like thrust into Harpy, so don't like rely on your back row too much. Just activate cards like D-Barrier that doesn't lose to the Evenly and stuff like that. So next list, it's a board breaker version, like a Fire King, but he's also somehow playing some amount of these, I guess, believing these are higher impact. Playing 2 Kirin for the extra deck, just exact same plan, it just changed to Anima. Interesting to see Ash in the side deck, probably just for like Branded and Voiceless. So yeah, everyone's playing one anti-spell, it's a one-off, but this deck doesn't play Pot of Prosperity, so it's like totally random. So it's hard to really respect this card. So like if you're against playing this deck, you would play Harpy like for other reasons, but I don't really think bringing in like 2 or 3 Cosmic is that efficient. Just play as many like hand trap to stop their main engine. Just deal with the droplet or random Cosmic their back row by just like try to search Harpy with the Prosperity, but that's about it. And the next one is Voiceless, pretty standard one. Interesting to see playing triple tech in this format as a Voiceless. Because especially because he's playing like Fenrose, which is a really good card in Voiceless. I think like playing Mourner is slightly better. This doesn't look 15, but I guess somehow it's just that's just some errors. Yeah, so yeah, see, as you can see, everyone's playing Anti-Spell and this deck plays Prosperity, so against this deck, not only like Cosmic Cyclone is just good in general, especially with the new spell coming out. You should side in all 3 Cosmics so that you can snipe this card mainly, but at the same time just drawing it randomly isn't that bad anyways. So Dark Roller we don't really care about this card unless you go like Bagoska, I guess. Um, so I guess because we play still keep a lot of hand traps and bring in like cards like D-Barrier, if they Dark Roller our board, we just activate like stuff like D-Barrier, Macrocosmos, or just hand trap them back so that they can't really get rid of our stuff um, efficiently. And obviously we're not getting killed because of this card, so this card is why we don't really care as much. So Snake Eye, first Snake Eye with the Kashira, no Fire King. However, with the board breaker, 0 hand trap except for the Emperor. So this variant, in my opinion, is the most difficult to deal with, and because Kashira cards counters mirror like our board by itself, like because like Fanro, for example, battle, destroy something and banish, or like birth if they want to. So make sure you put your like Fanro in defense. I mean, I guess that doesn't matter too much, but so Book of Eclipse obviously deadly. Droplet, it's like fine, but not as strong as Eclipse, but still pretty difficult. So against like this kind of ratio, I recommend building like a layered interruption, like for example SP Sheng Fenro, or like sometimes IP Baguska Fenro, stuff like that. But it's obviously hard to guarantee they have no Nibiru. I mean, they still put it in from the side deck, so like it's unlikely that you will make IP Baguska Fenro. At least you do like SP Baguska Fenro. It does still, so like when they, for example, Eclipse, you still have like SP, which is not strong, but it's something, you know, doesn't lose it entirely. Um, I actually don't really know what this card does. Okay, that's whatever. Doesn't really affect Kashira. So next list, it's the standard Kashira list. I mean the Snake Eye list, and is it? It looks like the one that won, but not really. It's just a similar build, but he's using a different extra deck package. Yeah, so this is standard Snake Eye list. So to be fair, like for Kashtira, this kind of variant's easier to beat compared to this one. You just play like you just never overextend and get Nibiru paired with the Imperm and just lose your whole board. Just summon 4 every time. Just hope they like hand trap your Fenrir, but you already have like Theosis, so it doesn't matter and stuff like that. It's like how the game would be played. For the side deck, if anyone puts this card against Kashira, um, you just should be thankful. So, because most of the times, you rather like get Nibiru than know that your back row is just empty. Um, yeah, so Ogre, people are playing like in the main or side for the like intra variant, so just play around it. So for example, like if you have Unicorn and an active Pot of Prosperity, uh, so that if they Ash Pot of Prosperity or like Droll, then you can declare Unicorn to like rip their extra deck, right? But then the punish for that is not only you got like Droll there, your Unicorn will get Ogred, so that Unicorn like basically didn't declare the search, right? So instead of that, you just use the summon the Unicorn, attempt to search first. So like even if they ogre, you can just search the birth, stuff like that, or you can just summon the Fenno if you have. So you can just search the right card if they ogre you. Obviously, ogre and birth is hard to play around, but it's not honestly like a biggest threat, because like when you're resolving birth during your turn, you're already at least playing the game. Um, so this is similar to the list I've seen before, like here. So I'll just not go too deep into it. And then this list, another snake eye. So it's like mostly similar to this one. So like hand trap variant, but just playing like this card. So basically same list, to be fair. But siding in Protos, Protos is fine against Kashira because like whatever they declare, like say they declare Earth, can they even do that? I don't know. Like this card isn't good against Cash anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like Thunder Colossus is pretty rough, but it looks like not many people are playing that in their deck for now. So the Runic, that topped. Runic's really easy to beat as cash, because like not unlike a lot of decks, they just have straight up no out to this card. Our monsters are strong, so you can do the beatdown, or if you really want to get this off the board, it's hard to make the right call. It just depends on the board state, but we have the option to Draco second. Overall, this deck's just easy to beat as cash, so not gonna talk about it too much. So Purrely list, mains Nibiru, a lot of hand traps. So like Purrely is like a deck that you just need to know how to play against it, and I also sometimes forget about it because like this deck's not as relevant, so like I just forget what I need to do. And they have this OTK threat now, so now this is one more thing you need to think about. For the side deck, like nothing really threatens Kashtira, like they're not playing Book of Moon Eclipse and stuff. So not a big deal, just keep negating this normal summons, and then if they're searching this, and when you have like Veiler, then that means like they're trying to play around like the face of negate, then you can like ash it if you need to, like ash this card if you have other Veiler that you want to hit. So stuff like that, just to send their stuff. One Labyrinth up for the YCS Raleigh. So it's just same Labyrinth. Just watch out if they like set this by effect, then you obviously know it, so you know how to play around it. But just one really important thing is like if they especially because they like play two of it, right? Like if they have a random set that you don't know, it could be this, and playing around this is pretty important. Also, like make sure if they have rollback in the grave, check if they have this card so that you're playing around it correctly. But yeah, Labyrinth plays in the bureau a lot of times, and most of the time they'll just keep it because even if it's dead, because we play around it, they can just pitch the worst case. So just never summon more than 4 times against this deck. Yeah, none of these side deck cards are particularly good against Kashtira. So the snake guy, pure snake guy with the board breaker Kashtira, it's the same list that I saw before. And then yeah, so we've seen a lot of decks, so it's pretty diverse. It's the first event after the new ban list, but we do definitely see there are more board breakers and more Kashtira variant in their pure snake eye, which is most dominant. Although the winner played the pure hand trap version. So this is a list that I had right after the ban list. Of course, I didn't have like much time or to test this deck out, but we at least have all the list at top, right? So like because not everyone, like as I said, a lot of people are playing board breaker, judgment becomes way more important, right? But like playing cards like Solemn Scolding or the one that it's like almost same thing as a Solemn Judgment, but destroys a card that's like in the same column or something. I don't Iron Chain something, like those are just, even though they came out like later than Judgment is just better. So just don't play those cards. Cause like 3 is already pretty like good enough amount is with the prosperity. If you play like 5 counter trap, you'll just break on those. So like D-Bears also kind of plays around the board breaker, so it naturally is good. Like for example, like they thrust into Harpy because you have the birth and the unknown set. Because it's a D-Bear, if they Harpy, you just chain and call the whatever they like fusion for branded and stuff, or ritual for the voiceless. So I think these are still pretty good. Cosmic, as we saw, like some people are on like a rivalry. We don't really care about it, but if they go first, have their board and have rivalry, it could be a little weird. So it's good to have. And then it's mainly for like anti-spell and the voiceless matchup. I don't really think like using these cards against any form of fire deck is like that good. Like at the most, you would put in one, depending on your side pattern. But yeah, Nibiru, even though like a lot of people are still playing like cross out, it's not like that difficult to force out their cross out with Imperm Veiler, and then it becomes better. The Nibiru becomes better because they cannot set up Baron. It is very important. Otherwise, like as you saw, like you get hand looped by like Omega Dissipator. So yeah, you definitely need to up to 3. It just I just have no space for the third one, to be fair. And then as you saw, like some branded exist, Labyrinth exists, so like I do and Voiceless obviously mainly. I do think like having like 2 total bells pretty crucial, so I wouldn't recommend like playing 3 Nibiru here with this card. One thing I can like consider changing is this ogre. It gives the diversity, but if you're seeing that many Snake Eye like moving on, this card definitely should be the second Nibiru, and just don't play ogre. But with the new set coming out, uh, we need to figure out, right. But like because like Tenpai, the voiceless, the ogre could be better, right? So yeah, for now, I'm gonna this because it's the sake of this video is adapting to the new format. Depending on but according to the Raleigh result, we play more of this to counter the pure snake eye. Then how about this card? I think this card is fine. I don't like playing 3 Nibiru in the main. So I think this is like slightly better one of it than the ogre. So like because it can hit more decks in general. Now the biggest concern is like Kashtira, Snake Eye. So what if they are playing that variant? One thing we can know is like if they do, they're playing almost no hand trap. So we kind of gotta overextend. So because of that, I would recommend playing double SP. And because it's like say that you play against the Snake Eye Kashtira, right? You will always make your SP and extend more than 5 times because they do play hand traps, of course, but like it's just less than uh standard. And there's a guy that played Kashtira Snake Eye that without zero board breaker, but I'm talking about this deck mainly. So playing like almost none and then side in Nibiru, you probably put in Nibiru against Kashira, right? So like in this cases, you always go like make SP and then overextend. Like for example, SP Fenro Baguska will be a good example. Like of course they can like droplet, but they can only like droplet like three. If they droplet like 3 cards, it's not even good for them. And then like because we have Baguska, so what they want to do is like ideally you activate Unicorn, Search Birth, Link away, after like declaring all the effect and then like droplet stuff when we like try to Fenro. But because of Baguska, they can't really play like that, so it's slightly better. You'll know what I'm saying. So yeah, so we need to find a place to fit in the second SP. I would honestly cut this card because we've seen almost no Fire King, but this card can always come back. So for now, I will change this. I think all the other cards are pretty important. This card could become Dweller or Harmonizer, but I need to really figure out by playtesting, not really by like theory crafting. So yeah, and then other cards looks pretty okay. Yeah. So I'll catch you guys later whenever like regional results come out. So we'll with the new cards. But for now, thank you for watching. See you next time.